This morning we have tips from Mark Murphy, a travel expert, on how to get the most out of your travel dollars. Good morning and welcome.
I couldn't do that. We had him on the show last week, and he was live from New York. Now you're here. Intangible.
Yes, it's very nice. Very quickly, do you have a favorite character in Desperate Housewives?
You know what? I don't.
You don't? Just like him and the rest of the guys. I never saw it either. Okay, let's talk about vacations. A lot of people are getting ready and they're booking. And one of the tips that you say is actually hire a travel agent. A lot of people think it's actually expensive to do that.
It actually doesn't cost you anything to use a travel pro, which is kind of ironic because people went away from using travel agents. They thought self-service, do-it-yourself, save money. Actually, they waste a lot of time, and they think they're getting a great deal, but that's not necessarily the case. Not necessarily the case.
A lot of people, they try to do it on their own, and then logistically, it's just a nightmare, and all of a sudden you're stuck somewhere in Cincinnati, and you're supposed to be somewhere else. You say a travel agent's kind of like your personal panic button. Explain this.
All right, well, you just mentioned you end up in Cincinnati. Now what do? You get in line with everybody else, or you call the 800 number for the airline to try to get rerouted. So, for instance, volcanic ash. Remember that a year ago?
Yes.
It's already out of our memory. But people were stuck in Europe. So how did they get back? Well, you know what Expedia said? Call the airline. Well, the 800 number doesn't work from London, right? And then what do? So you just wait weeks and weeks and weeks. Or if you had a good travel agent, maybe they get you through the channel. They rent you a car. You drive to Barcelona, and you get a flight back from Barcelona because that was the farthest north you get and get on a plane and actually make it back to the States.
And when you call them, you actually get somebody live versus staying on the phone. Can you imagine that? Actually talking to someone about your travel.
Press 4 if you're scared.
Yeah, exactly. Get me back. Right?
Click.
Right? So the other thing is, it's kind of interesting. If you type Las Vegas travel deals into the internet,
oh my God,
what comes back?
You can't find any.
It's all right here, right?
Yeah.
So you say, well, how do you sort through that? Well, the travel agent will sort through it, and they'll figure out what a deal is and what a deal isn't. For instance, I'm staying at Planet Hollywood right now. Caesars Entertainment, no resort fees. But some of the hotels you stay at, they'll hit you an extra $30 a day. Travel agents are going to know what those fees are, and they're going to help open your eyes to what your actual cost of travel is going to be, not what's advertised and your booking.
I'm glad that you mentioned that Google situation, too, because you type that, and it's just a whole bunch of spam pages. You click it, and then you're on, like, this shady website from somewhere in, you know, Botswana.
And ironically, on that first page, which a lot of people click on that first page, it's always the usual suspects. And it's hard to get maybe to a specialist who actually specializes in selling a certain destination or product.
And that specialist probably went and actually did the travel themselves. They've experienced it as well, so they can recommend it or say, no, stay away from that.
Well, you know, it's two things. Number one, most people don't understand travel agents sell 80% of all cruises, over 70% of all tours. Wow. If you go to Mexico, 70, 80, 90% of the resorts down there. So they get two things. They get, if they go themselves, of course, but they get feedback from tens of millions of travelers on what's good and what's not. That's a key eye-opener.
I think we've all been at the front desk of a hotel. We book the situation, we get there, and they're like, oh, well, you wanted smoking, one big bed? No, I'm here with my best friend, and we don't want to sleep in the same bed. We don't
you
smoke.
don't share that king bed, right?
So how does a travel agent stop the disputes at the front desk?
Okay, I'll give you two examples. I flew to London a year ago, checked into a hotel, wasn't what I thought it was, and it wasn't the hotel the agent recommended, so shame on me, right? So instead of going on the front desk and saying, I want to get out of my next 4 nights, I basically emailed the travel agent. She said, I'll handle it tomorrow morning, get in a cab, go to the Baglioni, the hotel I recommended. And I actually showed up at the Baglioni. They were waiting for me. The general manager said, Mr. Murphy, come on in.
Nice.
Took my bags. They didn't know who I was. I was just a traveler willing to spend some money in London. That was one example. Another one was Athens. I was traveling with my family. I get to the hotel. They say, I'm sorry, you've got 4 people. Your room's for 3. You're going to have to pay all this extra money.
Wow.
Who does a 3-person room?
Well, exactly, right? So instead of arguing with the front desk, I emailed the travel agent who had made the booking. She reached out to the VP of Sales and Marketing for that hotel chain, and they fixed it. I didn't have to deal with it. So, again, I could just get on with my vacation, which is what we want to do.
Exactly.
Really quick, hot spots.
Well, one of my favorite places right now in the world, it's undiscovered to a large extent, Vietnam, as well as Cambodia. It's a fantastic destination. Great way to see it is by river cruise. And you stay in Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, as a lot of people know it, and great hotels. And then you get a river cruise that'll take you all the way to Siem Reap and the temples of Angkor Wat.
Great food as well. Okay, really quickly, let's talk about how people can save money or get upgrades. Any tips there? Because a lot of people are booking right now as well.
One of the things that people really have a headache with are all the extra fees, right? So Southwest is an airline that eliminates fees, and they're advertising that. One of the things I would suggest you do, if you don't have it, get one of those credit cards from the airline so you can fast track through security. That's a tip, right?
Nice.
If you're not a frequent traveler, it's very difficult to get upgraded on the airlines. But if you go to a hotel, one of the best things to do is book the cheapest room you can find, if that's what you want to do, and you're going to take the risk that you're going to be in the cheapest room. But when you get to the front desk, ask if they have availability at the next categories up.
Nice.
And if they do, instead of it being an extra $100, they might charge an extra $20 or $30.
Car rental's the same way, too. Just go with the least expensive, and then you can upgrade.
You can always upgrade off.
Yeah.
Mark, great having you in the flesh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
For more travel tips from Mark, check out his website, markmurphytravels.com.
I need a vacation.
We do, don't we? I know. We just need the time right now.
Absolutely.
Still to come on the morning.